In 2025, we think the UFC is the center of the universe. But 20 years ago, the center of the world was Japan. While the UFC was bleeding money and banned from cable, a promotion called Pride FC was filling 90,000-seat stadiums with a spectacle so violent and beautiful it made the UFC look like a backyard brawl. It had the best heavyweights, the most brutal rules, and the most iconic production in history. But Pride had a secret. It wasn't just a sports league. It was a front for a multi-million-dollar war between two of the most powerful Yakuza clans in Japan. Today, we investigate the Pride FC paradox, how the greatest era in combat sports was built on mafia money, fixed fights, and a $70 million mistake that left Dana White with nothing but a library of ghosts. Welcome to Crude Chronicles. Put your headphones on. This is going to get dark. The first paradox of Pride is that its success was fueled by the exact same people who would eventually destroy it. In the early 2000s, Pride was king, led by a man named Naoto Morishita. He was the architect of the boom. But in 2003, Morishita was found dead in a Tokyo hotel room. The official report said it was suicide over a failed romance. The reality? Many insiders believe he was murdered because he sided with the wrong faction of the Yakuza. You see, the Yakuza didn't just attend the shows in $1,000 ringside seats. They provided the loans for fighter salaries, the highest in the world at the time. After Morishita's death, a man named Mr. Ishizaka, allegedly a high-ranking mob boss, took control. At one 2003 event, 200 armed Yakuza members from rival crews reportedly set up battle lines backstage, ready to start open warfare in an arena filled with 80,000 fans. This wasn't a sport anymore. It was a territory war with a ring in the middle. Fans always suspected Pride was fixed, but the truth is more nuanced. They didn't fix every fight, they just influenced the ones that mattered for gambling. The most infamous example is Pride 5. The UFC's first heavyweight champion, Mark the Hammer Coleman, faced the Japanese star Nobuhiko Takada. Coleman was a monster, but he lost to a suspiciously easy heel hook. Years later, Coleman admitted the truth. It was what it was. I needed to support my family. Pride had offered him the money and a guaranteed future fight if he took the loss. They also used a tactic called short notice, giving a dangerous foreigner only 10 days to prepare, while the Japanese favorite had 4 months to train specifically for them. It was a rigged game designed to keep the gambling money flowing into the Yakuza's pockets. Remember that security detail Fedor brought to his UFC meeting? That started in Japan. In 2003, a promoter named Seiya Kawamata alleged that a Yakuza family tried to extort him for 200 million yen, about $2 million, just for the right to use Fedor on a New Year's Eve card. Kawamata was so terrified he fled to the United States and filed a criminal complaint. This was the butterfly effect that finally broke the dam. In 2006, the Fuji TV network, which provided Pride's biggest source of income, discovered these ties and canceled Pride's contract overnight. Without TV money, Pride was a hollow shell. They were selling out stadiums but couldn't pay their bills. They were forced to sell. In 2007, the UFC's owners, the Fertittas, bought Pride for $70 million. They thought they were buying a global empire. Dana White publicly told the media it was the worst deal in business history. Why? Because they got hustled. The fighter contracts they thought they bought, they didn't legally transfer. The Japanese staff they kept on, they allegedly used the UFC's money to start a rival company called Dream behind Zuffa's back. They even found that most of the backdoor agreements with legends like Fedor were just handshake deals with no legal standing. Zuffa sued the former owners for fraud, claiming they were never told about the Yakuza ties. In the end, the UFC paid $70 million for a brand name and a library of old tapes. They didn't buy a promotion, they bought a ghost.
The Pride FC paradox is simple.
The same dark elements that made it the most thrilling era of fighting were the exact same things that ensured it could never survive in the light. Without the Yakuza, we never get the spectacle. But with the Yakuza, we lost the greatest era of MMA forever. We are left with the tapes, the legends, and the question: would the UFC even exist today if their biggest rival wasn't destroyed by its own shadows? Paradox. Resolved. I'll see you in the next Chronicle.